Hi everyone, in this video we will be learning about inductive and deductive reasoning along with some examples so as to better yet be able to understand the topics.
These are the definitions. For argumentation is a process of forming reasons, justify beliefs, and drawing conclusions with the aim of influencing others' thoughts and actions. Fallacy is an idea thought to be true, but is false due to incorrect reasoning or information. Fallacious statement is a statement deemed to be true, but in fact is false due to incorrect reasoning. Deductive reasoning is when you start from things you assume to be true and draw conclusions that must be true if your assumptions are true. For example, all dogs have a tail. Buddy is a dog. Therefore, Buddy has a tail. Deductive reasoning is sometimes referred to as top-down logic, due to its logical process in which a conclusion is based on the concordance of multiple premises that are generally assumed to be true. Inductive reasoning is a logical process in which multiple premises are believed true or found true most of the time are combined to obtain a specific conclusion. Inductive reasoning is often used in applications that involve prediction, forecasting, or behavior. Here is an example. Every tornado I've ever seen in the United States rotated counterclockwise, and I have seen dozens of them. We see a tornado in the distance, and we are in the United States. I conclude that the tornado we see right now must be rotating counterclockwise. That's for inductive reasoning. Move from particular to universal, Aristotle in the 300s BCE used the Greek word epagoge, which Cicero translated into the Latin word inductio. In the 300s CE, Sextus Empiricus maintained that all knowledge derives from sensory experience, concluded in his outlines of Pyrrhonism that acceptance of universal statements as true cannot be justified by induction. Basically, it is just saying that inductive reasoning was introduced by Aristotle in the 300 BCEs. The word was first introduced and studied by Aristotle in the 4th century BC.
Other important pointers brought along with the topic are as follows. Inductive reasoning in short terms can be defined as moving from specific to general ideas, whereas deductive reasoning can be described as moving from general to particular ideas. Both inductive and deductive reasoning strive to conduct a valid argument, whether it be using facts or opinions. Inductive and deductive reasoning are both used in research to develop a hypothesis and then arrive at a conclusion on the basis of the information given.
Inductive reasoning is inherently uncertain. It only deals in degrees to which, given the premises, the conclusion is credible according to some theory of evidence. An example of inductive argument. All biological life forms that we know of depend on liquid water to exist. Therefore, if we discover a new biological life form, it will probably depend on liquid water to exist. This argument could have been made every time a new biological life form was found and would have been correct every time. However, it is still possible that in future a biological life form not requiring liquid water could be discovered. As a result, the argument may be stated less formally as all biological life probably depends on liquid water to exist. Inductive reasoning allows for the possibility that the conclusion is false, even if all the premises are true. Inductive reasoning makes broad generalization from specific observations. Basically, there is data, Then conclusions are drawn from the data. This is called inductive logic. In inductive inference, we go from the specific to the general. We make many observations, discern a pattern, make a generalization, and infer an explanation or a theory. Deductive reasoning is a basic form of valid reasoning. Deductive reasoning or deduction starts out with a general statement or hypothesis and examines the possibilities to reach a specific logical conclusion. The scientific method uses deduction to test hypotheses and theories. In deductive inference, we hold a theory and based on it, we make a prediction of its consequences. Deductive reasoning usually follows steps. First, there is a premise, then a second premise, and finally an inference. A common form of deductive reasoning is the syllogism in which two statements, a major premise and a minor premise, reach a logical conclusion. For example, all men are mortal. Harold is a man, therefore Harold is mortal. For deductive reasoning to be sound, the hypothesis must be correct. It is assumed that the premises all men are mortal and Harold is a man are true. Therefore, the conclusion is logical and true. In deductive reasoning, if something is true of a class of things in general, it is also true for all members of that class. Deductive reasoning goes in the same direction as that of the conditionals and link premises with conclusions. If all premises are true, the terms are clear, and the rules of deductive logic are followed. Then the conclusion reached is necessarily true. Deductive reasoning sometimes is referred as syllogism.